welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. So today I thought that we could talk about something that a lot of us are going to need in the next month or so. And that is how to deal with the diet culture shitstorm that is headed our way. The same one that comes around every single year around Christmas and New Year's, basically telling us that our bodies are wrong and we should feel really guilty for every single thing we've eaten and that we better hop on the next diet train pretty quick if we want to be happy this year. Now you guys know I love calling bullshit on diet culture, but this time of year it just comes at you so thick and fast from all directions. It's hard to know how to deal with it, what to say, how to protect yourself really. And it could be that you're worrying about family members who are going to come round and attach a load of moral value to every single thing they eat. Oh no darling, I really can't have another mince pie. I've been so good this week and I have to be good next week and this will just be bad. I will be bad if I have that mince pie. Or maybe you're expecting some body shaming comments from, you know, that one family member that comes around and just loves to make you feel shit about yourself. And when are we going to do something about, you know, because you'd be so pretty and, you know, you've got such a pretty face. It's such a shame if you could just, you know, just lose a bit of weight. Or maybe you're worried about logging onto social media and being bombarded with all of the diet culture posts. 10 quick ways to lose Christmas weight fast. New year, new you, get your best body yet. I'm even thinner and happier than I was in 2016 and you can be too. It comes around every year, guaranteed. And actually I think most people still don't realise how harmful it can be. You know, we live in a world where we are constantly surrounded by diet culture every single day, whether there's a holiday or not. We can barely open our phones or go down the street or even be anywhere in public without hearing about calories counted and pounds lost and how life would be so much better and easier and happier if we looked different. And what all that diet culture does is breed insecurity and makes us think that our bodies are wrong, that our lives are wrong, that we can't be trusted around food, that we have to go on the next crash, juice, blend, pill, wrap, whatever, to be happier, to be worthy, to be beautiful. Diet culture makes us insecure, ashamed of our bodies, and it wrecks our relationship with food as well. And you know, the diet industry knows that this is the time of year that they can really cash in. They know that we're going to be spending time with our families, eating what we want, maybe we'll gain some weight, and they know that they can cash in on that, make us feel like failures and make bank. Which is why diet culture is so rife this time of year. And this can be especially harmful for people who are in recovery from eating disorders or just people who have spent their entire lives falling down the diet culture rabbit hole and now actually want to make peace with their bodies and make peace with food and try something different. It can be a really triggering time of year and it can really set us back in our recoveries or on our journeys to self-acceptance. So if you want to get through this month without being made to feel like the worst person in the world for eating a mince pie, or like you have to drown in guilt if your jeans get a little bit tight, here are some of my tips for fending off diet culture and staying in your body positive mindset. Number 1, set your boundaries. Decide right now that you deserve a body shame free holiday, which you do because we all do. So this could look like talking to your family in advance. If it's a family event that you're worried about and, you know, maybe sitting around the Christmas dinner table, you can do some damage control before the day comes. And this might look like talking to your family members and just explaining the situation, you know, telling them that you have been really struggling with your relationship with your body or your relationship with food, and it would be really helpful to you if everyone could just be mindful of the topics and not talk about calories or weight loss or what's wrong with everyone's bodies. And if they seem receptive to that, you know, maybe you could tell them that you've been learning about this thing called body positivity and it's really helping you and it would be really helpful for you if everyone could be respectful of that and just keep it in mind for the day. Or it might be that you're just going along fine, Christmas Day at the table, everything's cool, and then bam, diet culture bomb. And you weren't expecting it and you don't know what to do about it. If you are comfortable enough, then you could kind of do the same thing as before and explain the situation, call them up on what they've just said. This could look something like, I know you don't mean anything negative by it, but the way you just spoke about your body or about food, that can be really damaging to me because, you know, I've really struggled to accept myself and to have a good relationship with food. And now I'm trying this thing where I don't put myself down and I don't obsess about calories and weight, and it would just be really helpful for me and my mental health if you could try and do that with me. or some variation of that. But obviously if you're at like a family party and you're not actually that close to the people there, that's going to be a bit intense, and you maybe just want to change the subject instead, which you are completely allowed to do. Something that can make them think without getting too far into it would be something like, I think we've got way more interesting things to talk about than how much weight we've lost. Aunt Carol, how's your sea monkey collection going? Shout out to anyone who actually does have an Aunt Carol with a sea monkey collection, because that sounds pretty interesting to me. Or you could say, hey, have you heard of body positivity? It's this movement that's about accepting all of our bodies no matter how they look and making peace with food, and it's actually really been helping me. I mean, I'd be happy to tell you some more about it if you wanted. Or a couple of options if you're feeling kind of sassy. Interesting, yeah. Did you know that 95% of diets fail and there's actually no long-term evidence whatsoever to prove that people can lose weight and keep it off? Or one option that I've seen my friend Jolie use in action. What are calories? You could also do that one without like dropping food down your outfit, it's up to you. Or if you don't feel like you want to challenge anyone, because like I know that level of confrontation, that can be really anxiety inducing. It's okay, because you are allowed to just leave. You are allowed to leave conversations and situations that are bad for your mental health. You're allowed to get away from the dinner table. You're allowed to leave those group of people over there. It's okay. You are allowed to prioritize yourself and your mental health. And you're definitely allowed to prioritize your mental health over making small talk with distant family members or being polite to your neighbor Clive. Make an excuse, pretend someone's calling you, say you've got to go to the bathroom, or just leave. It's okay. Your mental health is more important than that conversation. Guaranteed. Number 2, make sure you have a safe space to come back to away from all of that noise. Which means, drum roll please, cultivating a social media space that is free from diet culture and full of body positivity instead. Which probably means at this time of year you're gonna have to get pretty ruthless with your block button. You know that one friend that you have on Facebook who keeps trying to sell you wraps or like Herbalife or some shit? Get rid of them. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a celebrity holding up a bag of detox tea and they're saying, oh, I indulged so much over Christmas, time to get it right, get rid of them. If your social media feed is just filled with people saying how bad they are and how guilty they feel and how much they're gonna have to work out or deprive themselves and restrict their diets, just block, delete, unfriend, mute. Do what you've got to do. For the love of God, do it. We don't get to control what we see and what we hear every day when we go out into the world, but we can at least control what is on our social media feeds, what we are consuming online. So if you've got anything on there that is detrimental to your mental health, that is making you drown in diet culture and feel like you're a failure, just get rid of it. Again, it is more important for you to have that safe space than to be polite to a bunch of people on the internet, most of whom you probably never see or have never even met. So even if you can't get away from like how many calories are in a piece of pastry in real life, you can come and separate yourself and go online and have a safe space to come back to. Which, side note, is why it's so important to keep body positivity as a diet culture free space, because it's literally the only space in real life or on the internet that you can go to and not be bombarded with all of that. But we can talk more about that another time. Number 3, remind yourself why you quit diet culture in the first place. At times when you are surrounded by people who are still in that diet culture mindset, it can be really easy to start doubting yourself, to start thinking that you're wrong and maybe you should go back to that way of thinking. And that happens because diet culture knows exactly how to play on your insecurities and make you believe that you will be happier if you go back to dieting. So remember the reasons why you left it behind. Reason 1, dieting doesn't work. There is a huge body of evidence that proves that between 92 and 97% of diets fail. And actually when they fail, it's not your fault. It's not about willpower, it's not about you not being strong enough. It is your body's biologically programmed response to deprivation. When we restrict our food intakes, our bodies go into starvation mode because they think it's a time of famine. So they're like, shit, better hold on to my fat stores. So they do that, they slow down our metabolism, they increase our cravings, they do everything they can to get us back to our set point weights, which means even if we diet and we lose weight at first and we think we're successful, we will gain the weight back and it will not be our fault. Reason number 2, the diet industry literally makes billions every single year from convincing us that our bodies have flaws and selling us the solution to these supposed flaws. Solutions that don't work, but they still make a ton of money and go home laughing while we're left crying standing over our bathroom scales. And I don't know about you, but I do not want to give any more money to that industry. Reason number 2, or 3. I think I think I messed up the reasons. The next reason. Because the promise of happiness that diet culture gives you never comes true. You know this, you've been there. Has it ever worked before? Have you ever magically become thin and happy and everything in your life is suddenly perfect? No, so it's not gonna work this time either. Reason number 4, it damages your mental health and screws up your relationship with food. The more diets we go on, the more we believe that we can't trust our own bodies and the further away we get from learning how to eat intuitively. And reason number 5, it stops us from truly living our lives. Remind yourself why you quit diet culture in the first place. Number 4, reach out to people if you have been affected by all the diet culture, especially if you're in recovery from an eating disorder. Reach out to the people around you who you trust and let them know. There is no shame in needing extra support or help this time of year. It's a really difficult time of year and you're allowed to reach out and tell people that you're struggling. That does not make you a failure, that does not make you weak. It's good to reach out and you are worthy of help and support and recovery no matter what. Even if you feel like you shouldn't have been affected by all the diet culture and you're past that and it shouldn't have done anything negative to you, you have not failed if you need extra support. Diet culture is really insidious and it can get to us. Even if you're in the most body positive mindset ever, it can still get to you and bring you down. I still have times where I fall down the diet culture rabbit hole and end up doubting myself. And I can only pull myself back out because I talk to people about it and I do have my safe space to go back to. And that does include, online, but also listening to podcasts or reading books or talking to my friends who are also in the body positive community. All of those things are your backup. They are your go-to when you feel like diet culture is dragging you back in. So use them. There is no shame in that. And even if your friends aren't in the body positive community or really understand the root of all this diet culture or what it's called or anything about it, chances are they're still feeling the same way. They will still be feeling the negative effects of the food obsession, of the weight loss obsession, of all that negative self-talk. So talk to them about it as well. And you can even make a pact to check in with each other and make sure the other one knows that they can come and they can talk to you and there will be no judgment. And you know what? If I'm around online, come and tell me as well. And if I see it, I will do my best to reassure you and help you see that you are fucking amazing exactly as you are. Most of all, remember that you do not deserve to be shamed or bullied or berated for your body or your food choices this holiday. You deserve a body shame free holiday. You are allowed to enforce that. You are allowed to stand up for yourself. You are allowed to set boundaries because do you know what? Your mental health is the most important thing. Remember that. Oh, and just a few tips for anyone who's thinking of being critical about other people's bodies or policing other people's food choices or going on and on about weight and weight loss. Don't! Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe and I'll be back soon with more body positive goodness. And happy holidays. Happy diet culture free holidays. I love pastry.